and welcome to the Not Too Shabby Shop YouTube channel. My name is Lynn, or LV Handcrafted, here on YouTube, and today I am going to make an impossible card. This one is actually oval shape, and impossible cards are pretty fun to do. It's relatively easy to create a square or a rectangular shaped one, but to do a more circular shape impossible card like this oval one, I think it would be pretty tricky to do without the help of a die set. So I am using a die set that will cut out the card base, which I've done here in dark green, out of 100-pound heavyweight cardstock. And included in the die set is all of the mats and layers as well for decorating the various different places that you can decorate on a card like this. And that's one of the reasons why I really love the Impossible card, because it's a fabulous, fabulous way to showcase beautiful pattern papers, like the sweet little bunny paper pad that I'm crafting with today. This is from this month's Paper Pad Club. It's one of 2 paper pads that you can get as part of the club. The other one is called Garden Secrets. And what's really fabulous about Sweet Little Bunny is I think most of the papers actually you can use pretty much all year long, I feel, because the palette is some very neutral taupes and browns along with greens, and I feel like that can be used pretty much all year long. There are some patterns that have a print that will carry you through specific occasions, like Easter. There's lots of, there's a few bunny graphic papers, and then I think there might be a couple that also have sort of a shamrock, which would be great for St. Patty's Day. So I think there's lots of different occasions you can use it for, but mostly I think the majority of the paper pad is very neutral. So I do love it for that reason. And all I've done here is I've actually picked out a couple different papers. The die set I'm using does include dies that will cut out the mats and layers, and so you can decorate both that quadrant that's on the front and to the left. Then there's the main panel that actually pops up, so this card does display beautifully, and that's where I'll create my sort of my scene, my little focal image area. Towards the back, mostly covered by that front panel, is another quadrant that you can decorate, and again, another place for some beautiful pattern papers. You can also decorate the back of that large panel that pops up, or what I like to do is actually die cut from a light or white cardstock and have that be the place to write a little message or, sign the card. And that way you can still have this up and on display, but not everyone's going to be able to really see the message that you've handwritten behind there. This piece here is really great. It's kind of optional for impossible cards, but the nice thing about using it is that when you glue it here to create a bridge between, that lower left-hand quadrant and that little bit of the side on the right, it will actually prevent the card recipient from kind of flipping this back to its full oval shape. So it basically locks the impossible card in this configuration, which then I think keeps the mystery, because somebody might look at this and it might not be immediately obvious how it's been achieved. So that's why I always like to use this little bridge piece. And plus, I feel like that's the perfect place for a sentiment. And for my images that I'll be using to decorate this card, I've pulled out the stamp of the month for February 2024 called Happy Spring. And Again, this is another really good one. It's got some really versatile images that some of which will carry you through the holidays like Easter and St. Patrick's Day. There's even a sentiment that actually says Happy Shamrock Day, which I think is kind of unique. You don't really often see that. But then there's a very general present, like a box that's wrapped and has a bow around it and everything. So it's really, really lovely. That obviously can be used all year long. There are sentiments that are really fabulous as well. So we've got Happy Spring. We have Good Luck. The one I'm using on my card today is Wishing You a Day Filled with Happiness, and I'm combining that with Happy Birthday, which is, I've stamped Happy Birthday on that little bridge piece, and then the Wishing You a Day Filled with Happiness, I stamped, but I used the coordinating die, which you can get if you subscribe to the Stamp of the Month. You can choose to get it with or without the coordinating die. It's nice to have the coordinating die because it does include dies that will cut out the sentiments in like a really nice close cut, not as a banner, but as a nice close cut. And so I use the die to cut out the sentiment, but then I cut out from that same really dark green solid color cardstock to use as a drop shadow of sorts, and that helps it to stand up against the background. And then my main image is the little bunny that's part of the Happy Spring stamp set, and I've colored that in the similar kind of taupey, warm gray colors that are in the particular pattern paper that I chose in that lower left quadrant, so that it kind of everything sort of goes together. Then there's also a stamp that has a little I guess like a little tuft of grass, and so I stamped that out a couple times, and I'll add that to kind of ground my bunny a little bit. I did also stamp out, because there's also a single 4-leaf, well, it's actually more than a 4-leaf clover, because it's actually 6 leaves. But the little clovers, I stamped those out, and die cut out 3 of them to add as a little bit of a, kind of to draw a little bit more attention to the sentiment. And that finishes my card today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider subscribing to the Not Too Shabby Shop channel, and also ring that notification bell. That way, whenever we post new videos to the channel or whenever Jamie goes live, you'll get a notification. Thanks so much, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.